Hi, this is Lee. I was going to show today how to make, let me go to this picture. Somebody was wanting to know how to take a picture and put a white outline around it for, say, if you wanted to do a sticker that has a white outline. So I was going to show how to do that. Now on Cricut, Print and Cut has a bleed option that will sort of expand this outside color. So that would give you, if you wanted to make a sticker of Pikachu here, it would give you a sort of a black outline around it. But sometimes we want a white outline around our sticker. So I was just going to show you how to do that. And this would be with an image. An SVG, if you were using an SVG, the steps would be similar but a little bit different. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to save Pikachu to my hard drive. Save image as, I'm going to name him Pikachu so I can find him again. If I can spell it right. Pikachu. Okay, so now I'll go to Inkscape and I'll import Pikachu. So I go to File, Import, and there he is, Pikachu. Stick him in there. Just you can just say OK with these options. Alright, so there he is. Now, when you're uploading this to Design Space, we can just go ahead and do that part. We can go ahead and upload Pikachu while we're at it, because you need to upload the picture and the shadow that we're going to make separately. So here's Pikachu. We'll go ahead and upload him. We'll say that he's a moderately complex image. Okay. And we will click on those areas to get rid of them and say continue, and we want to save him as a print and cut image. Okay, so there he is. We'll go ahead and put him in so he's ready to go. It's taken a while. Not sure what's going on with that. There he is. Okay, now we'll go back to Inkscape and work on the shadow layer. Alright, so even though we're using an image for Pikachu, we still have to trace him because what we want to do is get his outline. The only way I know of to do that is to do a trace. So we'll go to Path, Trace Bitmap. Okay, and then the default here is usually 0.45, so we'll just see what that does. We're just looking for a nice outline. We don't really care what else it looks like. So that looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and do it and see what it looks like. Let me zoom in. A keyboard shortcut for zoom is to press 3 on your keyboard, at least on a Windows. Okay, so what I'm looking for now is to make sure that there's not any gaps in this outside, in the outside outline of Pikachu. And there's not. Traced it fairly well. If there were gaps, you can increase this threshold and see if you could get them to fill in. Alright. So the next thing we want to do before we do anything else, we're going to break this apart and then union it together to make a solid shape. But if you want your sticker to cut out in this little area here, we need to go ahead and make a shape to subtract from our background layer. That probably doesn't make sense right now, but it'll make sense when I get to it. So to do that, I'm going to click on the paint bucket, and then I'm going to go up here, make sure it's on visible colors. The threshold, it doesn't really matter. 50 is good. Up here, grow shrink, this is what we're concerned with right now. So I'm going to set it to pixels by clicking on this down arrow and moving it to pixels. And then it's set to -5, which means it will shrink my fill by 5 pixels. So let's just see what that does. Okay, that looks pretty. I think I'll shrink it a little bit more. I'll shrink it by 6 pixels. So I'll put in -6. Okay, so that's given, if we're going to use that as the white outline, that'll give a cut right here in where his tail meets his body. Okay, so I think that'll be good. I'm going to press minus on the keyboard to zoom out a little. Now I'm going to select this trace that we did, and I'm going to say Path, Break Apart. Okay, that broke all of the little shapes in the black trace that we did. That turned them all black basically, and all we want to do is union those together to get a solid black outline. So I'll go to Path, Union. Okay, that's a solid black shape. So that's good, that's what we want. Now what I'll go ahead and do is I will click on this gray one also. Now the gray one is on top, it's on top of the black one, and that's what we want. And now I'll hold down Shift and select the black one also, so both of those are selected. Then I'm going to go to Path. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet, sorry. My mistake. I am going to just select the black outline, and I'm going to change its fill to transparent. And to do that, I'm going to come down here to this color palette, and I'm going to click on the X. Now its fill is transparent. We can't see it, unfortunately, so let's give it a solid outline. I'll hold down the Shift key and then come down here to the color palette again. Holding down the Shift key lets me select the stroke or the outline color. So I'm going to click on red so we can see it. Okay? Whoops. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Pikachu right here and line him up pretty well with that. Okay. And now I'm going to do Outset. You can find it up here in the menu under Path, Outset. And I want to make sure I got the right thing selected. What do I have selected? I have the image selected. That's not what I want. Okay, so the image is in front, so I'm going to press the End key to send it to the back. Alright, now you can see that popped my outline. Make sure that's what I got. To get things back where they were, I'm pressing Control Z, which is undo. Okay, so now the outline is selected, and so if I go to Path, Outset, you can see it outsets it a little bit. Alright. If it's not outsetting enough, or if it's outsetting too much, you can change how much it outsets by in the preferences. So I go to Edit, Preferences, and this menu will come up here. And if I click on the plus beside Behavior, and then go down to here to Steps, you can see it gives me a lot of different steps. Arrow keys moving, inset, outset, scale. You can change the inset outset. So I've got it set to 3 pixels right now, and I could change that to 2. And you don't have to press enter or anything, you just close that out. And now you can go to Path Outset again, or you can use a keyboard shortcut, which is to hold down the Control key and press 0 or close parentheses. And I just press that once, and you can see it made a nice outline. Okay, so there is that. Now we can move the image out of the way, and we can change this to let's change it to a light gray fill. And we don't need an outline anymore, so I can hold down the Shift key and press on the X to get rid of my outline. And the only thing we have to do here is to take that little shape that we drew and subtract it from this bigger shape. So this shape is on top, that's important for difference. And I hold down Shift and select that to select both of them. And now I just go to Path, Difference. Okay, and that cut that little shape out. Now I can get rid of the image. I'll just click on Pikachu and delete him. And I can move my shape over onto the canvas. If I have that selected and press Control Shift R, it resizes my canvas to exactly the size of my drawing. So now I'll just save that. Save as Pikachu Shadow. Got to remember where I saved it. Okay. Okay, so now I can go back to Design Space and I can just upload that shadow. There it is, Pikachu Shadow, open. And there's my shadow layer. And here it is here. I'll click on it and insert the image. And it's going to be the wrong size because of the way that stuff is brought in, images versus SVGs. So I'm just going to first send it to the back. I've got it clicked on. I'm going to say Arrange, Move Backward. Then I can move him underneath Pikachu, and I can just drag the arrow and get him lined up the way he should be. There's math and stuff you can do to make it where you don't have to do this, but it takes a while to figure out. So basically just fiddle with it until it's about the right size. Okay? Or, yeah, that's pretty much the easiest way, unless you like doing a lot of math. Okay? So now what we do is we select everything and we say, what do we say? Flatten. Flatten. Okay, so now he's all stuck together. If we tell him to make it, that'd be a giant sticker, but you can resize him. But you can see how it's going to cut out your Pikachu with the shadow around him. And you can spend more time getting your shadow more exact. I was just trying to hurry. So let me know if you have any questions, and I hope that answers or tells you how to make a sticker with a shadow, a white shadow.